Hey guys, Uncle Ray. Welcome to another episode of the Crypto Bellwether. You know, I used to be a licensed 3 futures and options trader. And one thing we learned from Ripple in the SEC case is that cryptos are not stocks. They're commodities. Well, I was a commodity trader. And that being said, who many people are looking at cryptos like they're stocks? And Tron just came out with an announcement that I find shocking, and it's probably going to change the game and start a trend. Now, a lot of people are going to get triggered by this news, but I'm not here for you. I want to get you in that 10% of people that make money. And it literally is the alpha like this. Because if you don't understand the game that you're playing and how the smart money thinks and what they're up to, you're going to get wrecked. I already see people following influencers that tell them that showed they were wrong about certain tokens, and now they're moving the goalpost out all the way out to like 2030. Well, guys, I invest bull run to bull run. I wouldn't even consider holding one of these altcoins past this bull run. Now, I'll never sell my Bitcoin, but that being said, you need to hear me out in this video. It's going to change the way you see the future of crypto because it's changing so fast, most people can't keep up. So what we're going to do is talk about what's going on with Tron, talk about some smart money moves, and we're going to take a look at Tron, HODL, Quant, Chainlink, and XRP because I think they're probably going to be in the same boat as the trend that Tron is starting. And if nothing else, guys, it'll give you something to think about, something that will make you go, because I really didn't know this was possible. I've thought about it before, but now, guys, this is a game changer for the future of crypto. So hit that like button. Let's dive into it. Now, my very first video 3 years ago, because of my background, I made a statement, a couple of statements, and I said, you know, this is the first time in history that retail has ever front ran Wall Street in the history of the world. So I knew Wall Street's coming after the dominance of crypto assets, RWA, DeFi, payments, everything. And they're literally 60 to 70% dominating, but people don't see that because they don't do any research. But if you zoom out and you say, hey, who's dominating the world, whether it's banking or coffee, and you think that there's something going to overthrow that, right? Like Netflix did with blockbusters back in the day. You need to zoom out, guys, because this is just software and code. And the people that are dominating right now, that have all the customers, they're going to continue to dominate. And this is going to blow you away about Tron. So stay with me. All right. Here's some alpha that's not totally related, but this is the smart money, dumb money chart. This is retail in the red, dumb money, said with love. This is Wall Street in the blue. Now, you know, I'm always telling people you're on the wrong side. If 90% or more of people lose money and you're going with the flow, you probably have the wrong mindset. And if you're not doing well in this bull run, which the smart money's doing extremely well, you might want to get a different game plan and a different thought process. At least hear me out. All right. But look at this. Right now, as it sits, guys, retail, dumb money, are buying. Smart money is selling. Wall Street's dumping. So when we go, oh, wow, the S&P's making a new all-time high, so is NASDAQ, so is Bitcoin. Smart money's selling to you, right? You're buying. They've already bought low. Look what this chart shows us. 2-3 months ago when you were dumping and everyone was crying and whining, saying no altcoin season, and the stock market crashed like 20-30% or whatever, Well, Wall Street was stacking, right? They were buying. Look at it. It's always opposite. Very rarely do they run together. Now look at this, guys. So when Wall Street was buying, about a month later, the average retail started buying. And now what's happening? Just like the people that bought a week or two ago, crypto's starting to crash again. I think we have a little bit more to run in stocks because there's still some more hype. But this is probably going to go down in here. And then guess what? The red's going to start to go down. The blue's going to start to go up. See, it's always the opposite. All right. Check this out, guys. Crypto Group Tron is basically going to go public. They're a foundation. They're a non-for-profit. Now, it's very complex how they're doing that, but I spent about, 3.5 hours going through this with Grok to explain all the ways that crypto companies and foundations could flip and go public. It's endless the ways they can do. Now, hear me out on something, guys. You know, Wall Street crypto has 4 million plus projects. We don't need maybe, 50 tops. And the biggest and the best and the ones that Wall Street and the governments pick, they're the ones, and especially the banks, they're the ones that are going to win. Now, I know immediately a lot of people said, oh, well, my favorite token's going to win. But here's the question. Have you ever done any research of who's dominating now? If you want to create the best cup of coffee on the planet, let's say you have it. Do you really think you can overtake Starbucks? Right? You know, when we talk about payments and ISO and all that stuff coming, JP Morgan is Swift's biggest customers. They own like 30% of the Fed, and they're ISO compliant, and they have instant settlement. And they literally are the most dominant company and bank in the world when it comes to the flow of money. Who do you think is going to win? For whatever that's worth. But, so guys, 98%, if not 99.9% of cryptos are going to go disappear. But now let's look at something. Let's talk about these 3 projects that I think in the future, if you're hodling, you're probably going to get wrecked. The good news is I'm still extremely bullish, but I'm only bullish for this bull run. And then we'll see how it goes, and we'll get a new game plan for the next bull run and a new game plan for the next bull run, right? That makes sense to me. Okay, let's zoom out. Now, you know I've always said, if you've been watching this channel, that 90% of all projects never hit a new all-time high in its second bull run. And only 2 have ever hit a new all-time high in its third bull run that didn't in its second. Well, Tron and Mantra were those 2. And Mantra, I'm not going to call it a scam, but they were buying their own token. So really, it was 1. Well, what characteristic do both of those have? They're fully diluted. So let's look at something, guys. And this is why tokenomics and understanding the big picture matter. Now, let's look at Tron. When it first launched, it killed it, right? Then they started dumping. See, guys, this is the market cap. This is the price. Notice the high, the first bull run, the high, the second, and the high, the third. But look at the market cap. First bull run, second bull run, no all-time high with the market cap or with the price, but they started dumping. Well, now they're pretty much fully diluted, and they've ripped. Okay, so what that tells me, the odds, if you have a project that's never experienced a all-time high in its second bull run and it's going into its third, it probably needs to be fully diluted. But then when you look at it, and I remember looking at Algorand thinking about this, because it's about to be fully diluted. These projects don't make any money. Tron makes a killing. But most of your utility tokens like XRP and XLM and ALGO and Link, they don't make any money to support themselves. So I'm like, how are they going to make it? Well, let's zoom out. Bear with me, guys. And I say all this with love. It's just something to think about. And the reason this is so important, it gives you a better plan to take profits. All right. So when I look at Tron, they've already created a foundation, made an immense amount of money, billions and billions dumping on retail, adding to the supply, right? Well, now they're out of supply. They don't really have a big use for the token anymore, outside of the services it offers and the speculation. Well, when you've made billions and hundreds of billions of dollars really easy, you want to go the next thing. We'll go to the stock market, and that's what's about to happen. So how valuable do you think the token's going to be in the future? The stocks are going to be the future. Now, Hedera, same thing. It's perfect to go public. Well, I never really thought that was a thing because it's a foundation. It's non-for-profit. But look at this, guys. Look at this. If this was your money, again, HBAR, phenomenal project. I think it's going to be the future, but I don't think it's going to be the future of good investment. It used to be my biggest bag, but I thought I didn't understand the tokenomics like I thought. But look at this. First bull run, second bull run, market cap. HBAR, if it had good tokenomics, it would be at like $5. But here's the reality. Bad tokenomics. Explodes the first bull run, nothing in the second. It's what, 35% from its all-time high? Now, but let's think about this. One thing that's amazing about HBAR is it understands Wall Street, and it probably has arguably the most adoption, IBM and Google, everybody, right? And it understands that Wall Street doesn't like volatility in its price. They all have budgets. So when Wall Street doesn't care about the number, they care about, I gotta lay this out for our board. What's it going to cost me to make a payment? What's it going to cost me to do whatever, right? So HBAR said, hey, we're going to give you the price in dollars every month so you can budget. So there's no surprises, right? You don't build RWA on HBAR and then one month it costs you $100,000 and the next month it costs you $8,000 and the next month it costs you $150,000. They give you the budget. So that being said, it doesn't really matter. When you take out speculation, the price, the cost, the price of HBAR in the future, it can take over the world. HBAR doesn't have to be at any price. Quant. I love Quant. Used to be one of my biggest bags as well. Until I started looking and understanding it. Right? I heard $10,000 Quant. That person has done zero homework on who's dominating that sector. Quant is nothing but basically software and code. There is no reason whatsoever for the token. And you have companies like Codent on Wall Street who has like 82% market share against Quant, taking it every day. No token needed. So Quant could easily build up itself. It's already pretty much fully diluted, some of the best tokenomics in crypto. So there's no money there for the foundation. But then once they start building out those CBDCs, they could just go to like a monthly subscription and go public. And then the stocks go to the moon. And guys, this is the importance of commodities. When I say stocks are not commodities, and you need to understand the difference, you don't get allocation of profit on any of these projects, right? They're commodities. So let's think about it. What's your XRP valued at if you're not doing anything with it? Has very little value outside of the hope and speculation. To Ripple, Ripple takes its supply, does cross-border payments, charges people for them, does all kinds of services, charges people for them, dumps on everyone, sells it when they need money, has an immense amount of value. It's a commodity. So once they milk that commodity, right, once they finish dumping and they're running out of cash flow, They'll just go public. It makes sense, guys, and I know everyone's going to cry. I can hear the crying already. But people don't understand Ripple and Wall Street and how they think. It's a perfect, I'm telling you, they should teach Ripple's roadmap and business model at Harvard. It's fascinating. Not only is it fascinating because how much money they make, they take their supply, dump it on the whole world, and the whole world is doing free marketing and love them for it. It's fascinating. But anyway, guys, when XRP gets fully diluted, the odds are they will be public, and XRP will just be a utility token, and the value could be at $2 forever. And people are like, oh no, it's going to be deflationary. Guys, spend some time doing some math. Ripple's supply, just the supply they have right now, if they never have to go into the open market, their supply could max out the upside of the XRPL right now. They could fully max it out. It can't do anymore. Max it out. Trillions. And they could do that for like 35 years. Actually, 35,000 years. Quadrillions and quadrillions of transactions could be done. The odds of the demand for XRP ever getting close to the supply, outrunning the supply, it's probably not going to, well, I know it's not going to happen in my lifetime, but unless you're extremely young, it's probably not going to happen in your lifetime, right? So Chainlink, same thing. People don't like buying tokens. It should be a monthly subscription. So anyway, guys, that's something to think about. You know, no matter what anyone tells you, when you look at the big picture, and believe me, Wall Street is ruthless, but you own a commodity. What's the value of the 2x4? What's the value of orange juice or gas? You got barrels of gas. See, most people don't even understand what the difference of commodities and stocks are. Stocks build a company that has a value, and you technically own a piece of that value. So when Starbucks builds another store and another store, that's growing your value, right? When you own a commodity and you take that commodity like, say, Ripple does, and builds and buys another company and another company, it's nothing to do with your XRP. So if any of these tokens, guys, I know this is hard to hear, if any of these projects decide to go public and go the subscription route or whatever and get rid of their token, which some tokens are needed, like with XRP, it is needed for security. That's the only reason it's there. Outside of Ripple making a killing, and we decide to speculate. But think about it, guys. Commodities were set up, if I'm a farmer, or, you know, the people in Saudi Arabia that pumping oil out of the ground, they're like, hey, this cost us this much. These cows cost us this much. These orange juice trees cost us this much. What if we have a bad crop? What if people don't want to buy all our gas, right? What if lumber goes down? It took us 100 years. So they hedge it. Well, then along came people like us, degens, and said, hey, we'll speculate on that. So we speculate. Is it going to be a good orange crop or a bad orange crop? Is gas going to go up because of tariffs, or Trump makes a phone call, or whatever? We're betting on that. There's no value. We're not going to take delivery. Same with crypto, guys. You're not going to you're not going to take delivery. You don't want to take delivery of your XRP or of your Quant or of your Ethereum. I mean, I'm not getting into the cold wallets, but what I'm saying is they have no value. But here's the difference. And I just use Ripple because people understand it. If XRP drops to a nickel tomorrow, Ripple just keeps on keeping on. We all get wrecked because it's a commodity. That commodity has no value to anyone that's not using it. It's a 2x4. Ripple is a contractor. They're building houses. Has nothing to do with you. That's the difference between commodities and stocks, guys. Anyway, I know I'm rambling on. Let me know what you think in the comment sections. But guys, if you need some help with your portfolio, someone to take a look at it, I do one-on-one coaching. We'll look at your portfolio. I have a course. I'll walk you through understanding tokenomics, math, getting a game plan, everything you need. And I also have a shorting course, which, guys, I short now almost every day. Anything that pumps, I'm shorting. Why? Because the future doesn't look like what you think. If all these projects are going to die, which I believe they are, and we're going to have altcoin season, and altcoin season is going to end, well, they're all going to die. Get short. Just like now, guys, I look back, I've been shorting for, I don't know, over a year. I should have been shorting more. The only time I'm going to be leery of shorting is during altcoin season. But we're not even close to altcoin season. So right now, any token that hits a new all-time high, you can bet I'm going to short it. And if I get wrecked, which I can't because I'm in and out, I scalp it. But if it goes against me and we get a short squeeze, I short it again. And the higher it goes, see, guys, look at these. This right here, what is this? This is XRP. This pump right here, I'll put in hundreds of shorts in that month and a half right there. Why? Because I knew it was going to drop back at least 50%, and it did like clockwork. Why? Look at this. This is only like 4 weeks. Game over. Same here, guys. Couple of weeks. Cryptos are stocks. If gasoline, like right now, gasoline is pumping, short it. Because no matter what, guys, yes, this is a war. It's hype. Gas just spikes. People are already calling for 120 oil. No. And even if it does, it'll be brief because Trump will pick up the phone, call Saudi Arabia and say, get the damn oil down. We'll open up our spigots. It's supply and demand, guys. When you take away speculation, there is no demand hardly for most of these projects, especially when they have an oversupply. Right? When you look at the supply of something like XRP, it's kind of like you selling water and you have 10 lakes around the world. Thousands of miles of lakes. You can't sell that much water, guys, no matter what people tell you. Understand the math, understand the tokenomics, understand the difference between cryptos and stocks. And they're not like gold. Bitcoin is like gold. Everything else is more like oil or lumber or something like that. Anyway, guys, I didn't mean to ramble on, but this kind of blows me away, and I think there's going to be a trend. I really do. And I didn't mention this, and most people are probably already gone. But think about it. Charles at ADA and Polkadot are looking to do a Bitcoin reserve. What does that tell you about the future of value of Polkadot and the future value of ADA? That's crazy. And let me know if you want me to do a video on that, because I meant to tell you that early. Anyway, guys, that's all I got. Remember, take profits or become the prophets.